赤べソフト2。
Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome to Sharin no Kuni, Himawari no Shoujo. Visual novel, one of the very first visual novels I played 10 years ago. This is kind of looking back into, looking back to see if this visual novel still holds up. How I played it like 10 years ago, you know, to see if I changed during the last 10 years. And mind you, I will be wearing nostalgia goggles. Like, I will be liking something that, you know, just because you know something, right, you're definitely gonna be very biased towards it. Oh, hopefully the game is not too loud. But yeah, this was one of the very few visual novels I played, which made me addicted to it, which made me really like the genre in general. And hopefully it still lives up, like I said. I really like the main character of this game. The author, or you know, the story writer, is the same as Shoujo no Mao, which I also stream on the channel. I privated it though, because I don't really want to... Well, basically, it wasn't exactly the best, I feel like, when I was streaming Gessenjo. Gessenjo itself is a good story, but I feel like the way I... the way I pace it is kinda... It feels like it's too fast, and I was forcing myself because I was streaming it. Because I was playing in like, what, 7 hours at a time instead of the usual, you know, 2 hours or 4 hours when you should be playing a visual novel of this size. But yeah, this will be fun. And as a side note for, you know, sorry to say, but you know, is dropped. I really feel like I should stop it. At the point where I was going in the last episode, I just wasn't having fun anymore. Like, I was still interested about what's going on, but the way they drip feed you with like bits and pieces of what's actually going on, I could understand if that was happening in the storyline before, right? In the part where we had to time travel, use the jewels. I did not expect you still get drip feed information when you're at the last route. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, you could argue that it's pacing, and I know I'm just ranting at this point, but I just wanna like give my thoughts on it. The people who really like the game, I'm not attacking you, right? If you like it, that's good for you. It's just not for me, like I said. Now, a story that's short, simple, and sweet like this one, at least if I remember correctly, this one isn't that long, is really good. So let's go to the config and start Sharin no Kuni, shall we? And see if this game truly lives up to my really old, like, you know, my really old memories. I hope it does. I really like this game. Actually, a lot more so than Shoujo no Mao. Believe it or not, even though my username is Azai. So let's go. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Morita Kenichi. I love sci-fi novels and my older sister. Said novels... Tell me if the game is too loud. Maybe I should make myself a bit louder. There we go. I feel like the game is kind of loud. Maybe lower the BGM. Oh, I can't open the menu yet. Set novels often mention a country known as Japan. You might already know about it, but I really do find it quite the interesting island. What exactly is so fascinating about it, you may ask? I have to say, by the way, this game is made by the translation by TL Wiki, the one that was made like 10 years ago. I have been waiting for the release of this game for so long. By Sekai Project, I believe, right? And they never delivered. They said this was gonna come out 2 years ago on Steam. No news whatsoever. The game was back on Kickstarter. Mind you, I'm not pirating. I bought the game physically. I have a physical disc of the game when I was in Japan, along with Gasenjo no Mao. That's how much I love this game. Alright, let's continue. Sorry. Me rambling on. Feeling a bit emotional hearing this BGM. Well, for example, I will try not to be, like, very, very emotional, though, because I know people are very, people are very sharp. When they like someone, there must be an underlying reason, right? At least the way I think about it, when someone plays something and they like a specific character, I could always see why they would like that character. Whether it's something that's going on right now, or whether it's something that's gonna happen in the future. Right? So, I feel like when you show bias towards someone, it's gonna... I know why you show that bias. Like, something in the future is gonna happen that makes you really like that character. And I will try to not be like that. Because when I was playing Little Busters, I was so biased. I was very, very biased. And this time, I'll try to not be like that. Well, for example, if you kill someone in real life, you must then bear the obligation of never having children. And of course, you are also placed under the care of those most intimidating special high-class individuals. But that's not how it works in Japan. Murderers are hanged there. Alternatively, convicts may be confined to a correctional penitentiary for a decade or two. Life sentences are fairly common as well. These penitentiaries, I think, could be considered prisons or jails. Our country lacks similar institutions, so I find Japan's judicial system quite intriguing. These prisons are populated by the seediest louses around. Murderers, thieves, rapists. Honestly, they come across as criminal theme parks to me. For less serious crimes, like speeding, it seems that the perpetrator must simply provide the government with suitable reparations in the form of money. Hangings, penitentiaries, fines. In contrast to our system of meticulously detailed punishments, specifically tailored to each crime, Japan seems to cover every offense with one of these three. Which raises the question of whether or not set methods are really effective means of rehabilitation. Then again, I don't know why we forbid murderers to have children either. But hey, some intellectual in an important position who acts erudite about stuff like genetically inherited selfishness, the metaphysics of crime, and self-confrontations with the religious other created our laws. So who are we to complain? As you can see, Kenichi is a smartass. Keep that in mind, Kenichi is a fucking smartass. And he's gonna be like this throughout the game. So, his personality may make or break your game. About the enjoyment of this game. People who live in Japan probably just follow their government's proclamations without complaint too. So I guess it's not my place to speak out against their pre-established judicial customs. In the end, what it all comes down to is how you make a living, regardless of where you reside. It's all about how some jackass like me can proclaim his love for his sister to the world. In the near future. In a not-so-distant place. The English title of this game is, so Sharin no Kuni means wheel country, and Himawari no Shoujo means the girl of the sunflower. And you know, as you can see on my right side of the layout, totally not biased. Well, I want to make it not biased, but the thing is, the image was just too big. I could only fit like one person in the middle, so that's why I made it like that. I apologize to the two heroines on the other side too. I've been walking for 6 hours straight with nary a glance over my shoulder. Now, there were a good deal of bus stops even out in the country. You might even have been able to hitch a ride with a kindly old truck driver. Let me see if I can lower the BGM a tiny bit. There we go. Tell me if it's too loud or not. Because I said it the same as when I said it with Yuno. However, my hometown could have been more appropriately termed the frontier than the country. Lush sunflowers surrounded me. The air in the mountains offered an exhilaration one just couldn't get from the air in the city. I cast my eyes toward the sun. I made it. I took a deep breath. I rested on the gravel road beneath me. You're probably already aware of this, but excessive loneliness induces insanity. Take me, for example. When I was 7 years old, I was abducted by an old man who offered me candy. At age 10, I spent some time in a northern country, and there was that time I joined a cult when I was 13. When I was 15, I worked in an S&M specialty shop. I got plenty of hard M training there. It should be obvious at this point, but my parents are long gone. My mother died immediately after giving birth to me. Her last words were, "Always eat your carrots and always drink your milk." I held nut to the end. Thanks to her, I have a body of steel. My father was a judicial clerk by day and a pro wrestler by night. Now let me tell you, judicial clerks laid a smackdown pretty intelligently. However, even legendary invisible masked heroes have their limits. At the age of 38, he became a star amid the night sky after sacrificing himself to rescue a girl who had darted into the middle of the road. Having said that, here I stand. Today, I am a man who has overcome cruel adversity, various difficulties, compounded trauma, devious brainwashing, and the heartbreaking loss of his loved ones. I'm a superhuman who has transcended the notion of growth. What's more, I'm still young and fresh. Well, such traits are expected from candidates for the position of special high-class individual. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, let's take a look inside this bag I've been lugging this entire time. The entire way. This wondrous bag is fitting for a superhuman of my stature. A silver duralumin case. I took a rather ornate ivory pipe out of it and raised it to my lips. Smoking tobacco isn't a crime for students like me, as long as no one finds out. So this ain't tobacco I'm smoking. Here it came? I think that's supposed to be come. That's fine. 'Twas the awesome sensation of a downer. Ah man, good stuff, good stuff. I wanted to die. My consciousness gradually faded away. I lay down on the field and gazed up at the sky. I kind of felt like closing my eyes. So, the final exam is in my hometown, eh? So what the hell is it going to be anyway? Well, whatever. Speculating will get me nowhere, so I'd better rest while I have the chance. So let's get some sleep. By the way, I also sleep in a manner befitting of a superhuman. I can sleep in any situation, be it in a desert or on top of a glacier. Good night. I thought it would be nice if, when I woke up, it was in a country like Japan. And if, while I was sleeping peacefully on a comfortable bed, my older sister came to wake me up. I must have been deathly tired. I had only planned to nap for a bit, but it seemed that I had been sleeping quite deeply. When I woke up, someone was staring at me.
辛いんですか?
Oh, that's loud. That's loud. Let me lower it a tiny bit. And the nostalgia. She starts speaking to me. Not really.
体、震えてますよ。
Nah, that happens all the time. I think that's still a bit loud. Give me a second. There we go. Maybe sound effects going down too. Same as BGM.
病気ですか?
I think that's good. It should be the same volume as my voice. Nope. She had noticed. She had noticed, but she simply pretended that she hadn't seen anything. Everyone had the same reaction, each and every single time. And you would be?
私は病気じゃないです。
Well, that's good to know. That was not what I meant. What are you doing all the way out here?
えっと、
Are you planning to leave town? If that's the case, you should probably reconsider.
いいえ、違います。
She was pretty fidgety. Perhaps she wasn't very good at speaking with others.
ぼーっとしてるんです。日向ぼっこです。
That did seem to be the case. I see. Sorry to have bothered you.
いえ、
Good night. I closed my eyes once more.
でも、
She was flustered.
ちょっとですね。人を待ってるんです。
Someone.
帰ってこないかなって。帰ってきてもしょうがないんですけど、それでも帰ってきてほしいなって。
Have you been waiting for them all this time? She fell silent.
そうかもしれません。
Who are they? Your boyfriend or something? Bullseye.
帰ってきますかね。
Don't ask me.
ごめんなさい。病気で辛いのにこんなに話しかけてしまって。
Don't worry about it. It seemed that I'd gotten myself into a fine pickle. I don't think your boyfriend is going to come back. At least, I don't think he'll come back to this town.
そうですか。ここは田舎ですからね。
Yup. Nobody wants to live out here.
あなたは大人な人ですね。
What do you mean?
だってみんなはきっと帰ってくるって言ってくれるんです。彼は死んでしまったかもしれないのに帰ってくるって言うんです。
You have good friends. You should listen to them, not a stranger like me.
はい。
She didn't sound very convinced. Ah, well, let me tell you something pointless, okay? If you keep this guy in your thoughts, then you might be able to meet him again someday. Of course, I wasn't talking about a miracle.
ありがとうございます。
Well then, I'm gonna get back to sleep.
辛いなら町まで案内しますよ。
No thanks.
でも
Somehow, her voice had elicited a sense of nostalgia. It was kind of pleasant. As my consciousness was slipping away. Enshan. I felt that she called me that. My lips felt wet. I slept well. I felt pretty good. Alright, I think it's about time for the test to begin. I stretched out. Hey, the girl from before lay collapsed in front of me. She didn't look too good. I examined her more closely and found that a water bottle was tied around her slender finger with a string, and my thirst had been quenched when I had woken up. So she gave me, as soon as I bent down to pick her up. The badge on her chest entered my field of vision. It served as proof of her obligation. Prohibition of contact with the opposite gender, huh? In other words, her obligation was do not fall in love. Thanks to that, I found myself unable to touch her. You see, said obligation forbid any bodily contact with the opposite gender. If she were to touch someone else, it would be a crime. If someone else were to touch her, it would still be a crime. In either case, the perpetrator would be sent to a concentration camp. The only men who were allowed to touch this girl were
Morita.
Uzuki Masaomi, sir. It's been a while. Special high-class individuals like old Pops here, who had just arrived on the scene. Sir, this girl... Let me actually make the BGM a bit louder. Maybe like this much.
Tenko ga saki da.
He just stood there, ignoring the girl's ragged breathing. He could not have failed to notice just how hot the ground around him. The ground where that girl lay was...
時間通り来ている候補生は森田だけだな。
Sir, please. I'm afraid this girl is going to come down with heat stroke. The eyes that shone deep within his chiseled visage shot me a glance. He clearly did not intend to listen to me.
ではこれより特別高等人の最終試験を執り行う。
Instinct compelled me to a position of attention.
自治はこの町、四方を山脈が包む盆地であり、土地面積は600平方キロメートルほど。その 70% ほどを山林が占め、15% が畑地だ。人口は約1万人。
Like the girl had said, this was the boondocks.
土地柄的かつ歴史的な意味合いから義務を負う非構成人が多く在住している。試験期間は無期限とする。以上。何か質問は？
You call this an examination, but what am I actually supposed to do?
学園へ編入し、現地住民と生活しろ。
That's all?
他に質問は？
He wasn't gonna give me any details? Well, if that was the way the cookie crumbled, then so be it. Understood. So then this girl...
分かっている。
He had always claimed that he knew everything about me.
知り合いだな。
We just met.
関係は？
We're lovers.
嘘をつくのが上手くなったな。
Thanks to you.
しかし、本当に恋人なのだろう？
No. He drew a step closer.
名前を知ってるな。
Who knows? There's no way that I could have forgotten it.
正直になれ。こうやって無駄話をしている暇があるのか？
He had a point. Her name is Hinata Natsumi. She's a childhood friend of mine. I'm telling you the truth.
よかろう。
I'd like that. I like that. The game doesn't like pull any punches. They don't like they give you significant hints that Natsumi knows about Kenichi, but instead of hiding the fact, they just straight up gave it to you the answer in just a matter of like seconds. I like that. I really like that. He asked me no further questions. At that moment, because I was like, damn, I don't want to make it like really that easily recognizable that she's a childhood friend. Because I don't know when the game is gonna tell that little fact. But I like the fact that he just like talked about it in a matter of seconds, like that just then. That's really good. At that moment, a woman that I recognized arrived. She was one of my fellow cadets. We had only met once before. I believe her name was Nagumo Eri-san. She was the most promising cadet among the current candidates for the position of special high-class individual. Anyone active in the field of law certainly had heard of her. Even though she was quite young. Well, I was younger than she was. Anyway, she was considered a genius when it came to law. I'd never beaten her when it came to academic test scores. Practical examinations aside.
昼夜を問わず歩いてきたのですが、途中水害で氾濫していた川に出くわしてしまいまして。
I see. So we were the only ones who had made it to the final exam. I hope we could work together to make it out of this. Her body spasmed for an instant, then crumpled to the ground like a marionette with its strings cut. Her body convulsed twice, and then she spoke no longer. The whole thing was somewhat odd. A thick red liquid spilled out from her head and dyed the stems of the sunflowers around us. Hey, she was dead. A person. Right in front of me. Yeah. I'm gonna be in character, okay? I'm gonna be very in character. My throat went dry. Ozuki, sir.
すぐ無駄口を叩くのがお前の欠点だ。
This wasn't pointless chatter. I'm well aware of just how strict of a person you are. He was a level-headed leader who would not hesitate to kill anyone who broke a law or disobeyed an order. However, can I say one thing? I shifted my field of vision downward. That yellow ribbon looked good on her, just as it always had. If anything happens to her, I'll kill you. I'm not bluffing. You'd do well to remember that. I left without looking back. At the dawn of summer, I'd returned here after 7 years. To the sunflower-enclosed town where the traces of my innocent dreams remain.
「夏の吐息を連れた」「夕焼けのもと佇み」「私はただ思いを馳せる」「誰もいない世界に」一人生き残るものの罪を誰が笑えるでしょうかひまわりたちは答えることなく赤く染まる頬に続けよう触れられない右手はただ風の中をさまよえるのだとしてもそれはただあなたのためにいつまでも
That almost brought a tear to my eye. Damn, that was really nice. Been 10 years, Kenichi. I'm back, dude. I was a transfer student. It looked like they were going to call me into the classroom in short order. The country. In its wooden school building. The scent of linoleum still permeated the air, so the school must have been quite new. The class eagerly awaited my arrival. Have I ever transferred before? No, I haven't. But in my beloved sci-fi novels, there's always a transfer student who stirs up trouble. Of course, they were actually a psychic, cyborg, murderer, or something. And on top of that, they're usually a beautiful girl. Unfortunately, I'm not psychic. And I think it goes without saying that I'm not a beautiful girl. To that end, I think I'll act natural. Play the role of a pitiful, shy boy. I don't want to stand out after all. I cleared my throat. I heard the voice of the homeroom teacher beckon me into the classroom.
森田くん、入ってきなさい。
I steeled my nerves and opened the door to the classroom. Hey, what the hell are you staring at? Am I that rare, you hicks? I ended up yelling at them. I wasn't expecting that many people to be staring at me, you know?
森田くん
No. Forget about it. This was a disaster from the get-go. Being overly blunt was another one of my weaknesses.
じゃあこっちに来て。
I slowly stepped up to the platform at the front of the room. My stride resembled that of a water bug.
はい、皆さん、転入生の森田健一くんです。
My head went blank.
本来ならここで自己紹介
I was supposed to give a self-introduction, huh?
してもらうところなんですが、
Oh man, I wasn't good at this kind of thing.
森田くんの席は一番後ろ。
Yes. My introduction. My name is Morita Kenichi.
森田くん
About myself. My parents were, of course, born as farmers. As a boy, I often battled with stink bugs in our garden. In particular, one named Mitarai. That damn Mitarai, armed with his foul stench, never ceased to pick fights with me, since I had a habit of carrying around his favorite pine cones. And thus, I acquired the odor of rotten natto. The kids in my class called me junk food.
いじめられてたんだね。
No, not at all. Now, this is going to sound like I'm a slave to modern convenience, but I usually wear contacts. Just the other day, I left my one-day lenses in for an entire week. When I took them out, there was blood on them. Holy crap! My true form had made itself known. Well, that being said, I'd appreciate it if you could forget all about my shadowy past. I'm trying to change my image by switching schools, so it'd be great if we could all get along. The lesson started. Because of my speech, everyone in the class thought that I was off my meds. I didn't think I would be having a very enjoyable educational career. Everyone kept their distance from me. This is exactly why I hate Hicks. They probably suck at foreign languages too. As I was badmouthing them,
ねえね
a voice came from the seat next to me.
え、君さ、頭悪いでしょ。わ
I checked the badge on her chest.
かるんだよね。私と同じ匂いがするよ。
Sheesh, what a harsh obligation we have here. The smell of stink bugs?
そうそう。初めて会った気がしないよ。
Yo, Mitarai, it's been a while. About 10 years? Oh man, Kenichi. That's how long I haven't been playing this game for. God damn it.
慣れ慣れしいのも私そっくり。嫌われてるでしょ。
Now, Mitarai, don't be so harsh on yourself. I love energetic types like you.
私もあんたみたいなつまんない人は好きだよ。
Can it? I'm funny as hell. You just don't get my humor because of the difference in our educations.
本当につまんない人だ。
She laughed incessantly in the middle of class without concern for the people around her. Hey, Mitarai.
サチでいいよ。
You're not Sachi. Kenichi is fine.
何が？
That's what you can call me.
森健でいいじゃん。
I guess she had already made up her mind about what to call me. But enough about names. I looked at her chest.
よ？魚？
So, when does it start and end?
ああ、7時から19時だよ。
Oh? I almost fell out of my chair.
私すごくない？
Not at all, you idiot. Only 12 hours a day?
なんとかなるもんだよ。
What the hell did you do to deserve this?
てか森健さ、ひょっとしてお金持ちなの？
Hey, you can't answer a question with a question, even if you are the energetic type.
ゼラルミンケース。
Huh?
何入ってるの？ネズミ紅葉のサプリメントとか？
The usual. Textbooks and my camping tools.
野宿？引っ越してきたんじゃないの？
Well, I guess I'll need one, since I plan to stay here for a while.
だったら私の部屋に来なよ。
Now look here. Just because you're the energetic type doesn't mean that you can invite a man into your room all of a sudden.
いいじゃん。森犬なら安心だって。私さ、鼻が利くのよ。森犬って絶対変なことしない人だと思う。っていうか、できない人だと思う。部屋結構広いし、私が泊まってる時は部屋を自由に使っていいしさ。流行のルームシェアっていうやつ？
It was in vogue. I have actually no idea what that is, so I'm actually going to Google that. Okay, it's very popular. There we go. That's easy enough.
おいでよ。
She smiled unpleasantly. She was up to something. However, I couldn't deny that the prospect of room and board was enticing.
決まりだね。
Well,
やっぱり推しに弱いね。思った通り。
damn it. It was because of my hard M training. I'm in your care. I rubbed my head against my desk.
んじゃ、私寝るから。積もる話は今夜二人っきりでね。
What about class? Don't you feel motivated at all? You are the energetic type after all.
時間の無駄だから。
Sachi's breathing instantly fell into a steady rhythm. This girl switched gears way too quickly. It was kind of unsettling. Now, this is just between you and me, but this is not, in fact, my first meeting with this girl. This is where I grew up after all. Incidentally, Sachi is another childhood friend of mine. She went on and on about her sixth sense or whatever, but I don't think she recognized me. Her full name is Mitsuhiro Sachi. Mitsuhiro Sachi. She's always been pushy, self-absorbed, selfish, mischievous. Oh? I can't recollect any redeeming qualities. I was sure that there was something she took seriously. Oh well. I like those energetic types, so it's all good. But as I'm sure you know, energetic types are usually fairly innocent. And they usually play a sport, have short hair or a ponytail, and have huge boobs. God damn it, Kenichi. Stop generalizing anime tropes! It's Sachi here. I guess it'd be a mistake to classify her as the energetic type so easily.
あのさ、うるさいんだけど。
Eh? What? Don't be like that. I'm introducing you.
紹介？誰に？
Well, I can't tell you that. I mumbled.
とにかく静かにしてね。
She laid her head back on the desk. And he continues on. Kenichi is so stupid. Mitsuhiro Sachi. She's so bad at kanji that she reads Tokyo metropolitan area as East Kyoto.
ねえ。
Huh?
うるさいって。
I focused on the lesson once more. Our homeroom teacher was occupied with teaching the class. By the way, she was pretty hot. A tense atmosphere pervaded the classroom, since she was asking a lot of tricky questions. However, they presented no particular challenge for someone like me.
それでは特別高等法の第5原則について解説できる人。
Silence reigned.
それじゃあ転入生の森田くん。
She stared at me.
森田くん、返事を。
Okay, okay.
返事は1回で。
Before I answer your question, may I know my teacher's name?
私は大根です。
And your given name?
どうしてそんなことを聞くのかしら。
Because I want to know. Also, it'll allow me to grow closer to you.
答える義務はないわ。
I see. Well, the fifth law then. It guarantees a minimum degree of privacy for a person in the process of rehabilitation, which would include the right to remain tight-lipped in the face of unpleasant questions. It was improper to invade another human being's privacy, even if they were in the process of being rehabilitated. Though, they were in fact forced to wear a badge upon their chest. Due to these badges, anyone could tell what crime, what obligation, such an individual was bearing at a glance. While I was lost in this world of irrelevance, One-sensei's beautiful face softened.
なかなか面白い子ね。
Oh, don't praise me. I'm the type who only improves if you beat them.
私は京子よ。
I'm Morita Kenichi. Biology is my worst subject. Actually my best one, Kenichi.
じゃあ問題ね。
I knew it from the start. This woman was a total sadist.
バージ、動植物ウイルス、プラスミドに代表される遺伝子を組み込む相手として用いられる DNA のことを何と言いますか？
You think I would know that? It's been so long since I studied biology. Biology? This question was more along the lines of genetic engineering. However, for me it was a simple question. It's quite simple to answer this question. All it requires is parroting knowledge that one has acquired previously. However, Kyoko-san, what is really important is not this knowledge itself. Attaining a degree of wisdom through the usage of this knowledge is what matters. Don't you agree? Instead of discussing some silly question copied and pasted straight from the internet, wouldn't it be more fruitful for us to discuss our current societal climate? Right. Yeah, I totally know the answer. That's why I'm diverting the topic. Let's think about that instead. Something like that appeals to my intellect to a much greater degree. Like, what would life be like if society didn't exist? I might sound arrogant, but I believe that this is an important subject for both of us.
要するに、わからないということね。
Incorrect. I'm saying that simply answering questions does not constitute a true education.
わからないのよね。
Incorrect. Please don't look at me like that. My heart and blood is boiling.
変な子ね。まあいいわ。授業に戻るとしましょう。
As I thought, she was just bullying me.
大根さん、教科書の15ページを読んで。
Oh, ne.
特別高等人は法治国家の快挙である特別高等法を支える重要な職務である。
An agreeable voice issued forth from her mouth. I would have been interested in hearing it echo.
義務を負う非公正人を監督、保護観察する責任があり、
Up to this point, I thought that the job description was pretty similar to that of the probation officers in my sci-fi novels.
非公正人に対する監督方法は全て特別高等人の能力と良識に委ねられる。特別高等人は非公正人の基本的人権を握っており、プライバシーを侵すことはおろか、生殺与奪まで自由である。
What a very, very crazy world. In short, the ends justified the means, as long as the result was rehabilitation, of course. That was why people with volatile personalities would not have been appointed to the position of special high-class individual. They even had special training programs to amend one's personality in that regard. Ah, damn. I would have preferred not to remember that shit.
特別高等人は非公正人の義務の解消まで決定権を保持する。
In other words, if the special high-class individual gave the okay, then the person would be released from his or her obligation. Of course, on the other hand, a person could have spent their entire life burdened with an obligation if the special high-class individual assigned to them didn't like the progress they were making. And if we wanted to examine the worst-case scenario, they would simply declare that their rehabilitee had no hope of recovery. Afterward, the rehabilitee would be killed on the spot or carted off to a concentration camp. High-class individuals didn't have enough time on their hands to worry about hopeless cases, and their numbers were not plentiful to begin with. And thus ends the tedious explanation.
であるからして、
That girl. I took a look at her breasts. It's actually on. I guess the badge is on your breast and also like breast pocket of your uniform and also on your jacket, I guess, as you can see there. Whoa, were they growing? What the hell was I talking about? Well, setting idle thoughts aside, this obligation weren't no joke either. Neither.
はい、結構。
Kyoko-san signaled the end of the lesson with the pleasant sound of a textbook being slammed shut.
そうそう。新しくこの町に特別高等人の方がいらっしゃいましたから。
She must have been talking about Old Man Hozuki.
出会ったらご挨拶を忘れないようにね。
The sound of half-hearted acquiescence spread throughout the room. What's acquiescence? Passive acceptance. Okay, submission.
あ、 それとどうか？
はい。
Toka. One Toka and One Kyoko. Were they sisters?
せっかくの昼休みだけどちょっとお話があるの。
She beckoned to her.
友達とご飯食べる約束してるんだけど。
お話があると言ってるの。これは母としての命令よ。
Mother?
わかったわよ。
The girl reluctantly accompanied Kyoko-san. But man, she was a parent at that age? So they were mother and child, huh? That household must have been pretty vicious. After all, the girl's obligation was to be completely subservient to her parents. It was time for lunch. Sachi had been sleeping the entire time. I think I'm gonna tag along with this intriguing mother and child pair. Not to mention that it was a good opportunity for a smoke. I thrust my way into the corridor through the classroom door. The school was pretty quiet, perhaps because it was out in the country. There was nobody running in the halls, and there weren't any kids making out in the stairwells.
そんなのやだよ。
Ah, I had found them.
嫌だとは言えないはずだけれど。
でも、私もっと遊びたい。
ダメよ。もっと勉強しなさい。
What seems to be the problem, ma'am? I decided to stick my nose where it didn't belong.
森田くん。
She has to study more?
そうね。そろそろ夏休みに入るでしょ。
Huh, already? Even though I just transferred here. What happened to the rich school life I was so looking forward to? Her stare resembled death warmed over.
10日に夕方6時までには家に帰るよう言いつけたの。
Yoko-san snuck a glance at Toka's badge. In other words, it was an order. Don't you think a 6 p.m. curfew is a bit harsh for a girl nowadays?
森田圭一には関係ないでしょ。
Yeesh. Here I was trying to help her out, and she went off on me like that. Calling someone by their first name during your first meeting with them. Man, what's up with girls nowadays, sensei?
私の娘よ。
So, they were in fact mother and child. I said to the girl, I'm Morita Kenichi. My life's goal is to manipulate people like tools. Nice, Kenichi, nice.
はあ？
Introduce yourself, damn it.
ぶっ殺すぞ。
This chick had a bad attitude. Anyway, you can't disobey Kyoko-san.
そんなことわかってる。
森田くんからもこの子によく言ってあげて。
With a nod, I drew closer to the girl. Anyway, you can't disobey Kyoko-san.
何よ。
Anyway, you can't disobey Kyoko-san. Anyway, you can't disobey Kyoko-san. I tried a bit of hypnotic suggestion.
森田健一って。
She ran into the classroom carrying an air of defiance with her. What's her problem anyway? Kyoko-san hurt me muttering to myself.
いきなり嫌われてたみたいね。
Actually, I think she might like me.
当人の親の前でよくそんな軽口叩けるわね。
Well, I am quite full of myself after all.
そのようね。でも、あの子と仲良くしてくれると嬉しいわ。
Okay, then why don't you have her guide me around the town today?
10日に？
Yes, I'd like to become friends with her.
いいでしょう。後で言っておくわ。
But don't go making this an order, okay? Since your obligation requires her to obey your every command.
本当に偉そうな子ね。
I tried to adopt a facial expression which adequately displayed just how much I agree with her.
ただ、親子の関係には口を挟まないでもらえるかしら。
I guess she was the nervous type.
それじゃ。
I watched Kyoko-san leave. I decided to return to the classroom as well. After a quick smoke break in the bathroom. We were still on lunch break. I just noticed something. The school packed multiple grade levels into the same classroom. I sensed someone standing behind me as I was lowering myself into my seat. I reflexively turned to face them, though there was no real cause for alarm. He was standing quite close to me. He looked to be around the same size as me. He didn't have any muscles on him, so his broad shoulders made his frame appear somewhat imbalanced. That aside, just how did he manage to look that damn fabulous?
こんにちは。
He struck up a conversation of some sort. You need something from me? He smiled.
宇月セピアだ。
Sepia?
僕の名前。
Hey, are you a head case or something? What the hell kind of name is Sepia?
宇月は4月という意味だよ。
That's great. I don't give a crap. What the hell are you doing? Writhing around like that. I took a step back in disgust.
どうしたの？
Oh, Sachi. Not Sachi. Oh, not Sachi. Who the hell is this guy? Now, weird locals were to be expected from a town as storied as this, but I really wasn't anticipating someone totally off their rocker like this guy.
磯野くん？
Isono.
本名ね。童話が好きだから。
So Sepia was his pen name. What? Are you a novelist?
まあね。
I had no idea that people this young were writing fairy tales. Then again, I hadn't had much contact with society recently. Who knew what else I was unaware of?
森田くんはミサイルとか好き？
Missiles?
核はどう？大量破壊兵器とか好きだろ？ウラニウムはいいよね。
Are you really a fairy tale enthusiast?
磯野くんってちょっと決まってる系の人なんだよね。
You don't say.
でも3年前からずっと私の子分なんだよね。
She slapped Isono on the back.
はい。今は足軽組頭といったところですね。
That wasn't something to be proud of. Hey, you said put Shoujo boss, didn't you?
ああ、知らないかな。あの SF 小説。
I cracked my knuckles. Oh, that series. I love it too. I've read all of the books. The Japanese chapters are my favorites.
僕はアメリカ編が好きだな。敵の兵士をホモに変える兵器とか真面目に作ってるのが素敵。
What kind of novels are these guys reading? Dumbass, the Japanese chapters are the best. Washoi! Washoi!
それ違う。ハッスルハッスルだ。
Oh, sorry. My bad. They haven't written a conclusion yet, right?
全部で1000巻予定だろ？
So what number are they up to?
今は
なんか意気投合してるし、変人同士馬が合うのかな。
Class had ended and school was letting out.
森田くん、一緒に帰ろう。
We'd become best friends in 5 minutes flat.
寮部屋はもう決まっているのかな？
Not yet. You guys all live in the dorms?
お前らというと？僕はいつでも孤独な童話作家だが。
You don't have any friends, do you?
このクラスじゃサチさんが寮暮らしだぞ。ああ、夏美ちゃんもか。
Natsumi-chan.
知っているのか？
I met her this morning. She's the girl with the yellow ribbon, right?
なんでも倒れたらしいな。大事なければいいんだが。
ね
A rather pissed off face suddenly made its presence known.
え、あのね。まったく、なんで私が。
What is she mumbling about?
僕に何か用か？
Isono-kun, it's quite obvious that she's talking to me, not you.
さっさと行きましょう。
Go?
森田健一がお母さんに頼んだんでしょ。
Ah, right, that.
なんで案内役は私なの？
You don't want to?
嫌というか、お母さんを通して私に命令するのが気に入らないの。
So I should have asked you directly.
そうよ。
Okay then. One, please get me around town.
いや、
Well, that sure accomplished a lot.
だからなんで私なの？サチに頼めばいいじゃない。
まあ落ち着け。森田くんはユニセックスだから二人きりでも安全だぞ。
Does that even mean? What the heck does unisex mean? I thought that was something for clothes. I'm not unisex. Moreover, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
ちょっと、私の前でバカな会話やめてくれない？
Her pissed off meter was maxing out. Okay, I'll leave you alone from now on.
ちょっと待ってよ。
What is it?
お母さんに命令されてるんだからしょうがないのよ。
Ah, because of your obligation.
分かったらさっさと行きましょう。
One performed an about face and dashed out of the classroom.
疲れているな。
Exactly what conversation are you basing this premise on?
気にするな。そんなことより森田くんはこれからずっとここで暮らすのか？
No, well, I'm not sure. I mean, I plan to live here for a while, but...
そうか。なんだか森田くんとは初めて会った気がしないな。
I see.
ではな。
Sono left with a smile on his face. Meanwhile, I pursued One. I was assaulted by a particularly severe light as I stepped outside. A magnificent sunset spread out before me. The red orb hovering above the mountains seemed to be melting into the scenery around it. Hey, wait a second.
何 ?6 時までに家に帰るようお母さんに命令されてるんだけど。
Oh, don't be that way. Come on, check out this wonderful view. I pointed to the mountains.
じゃあ、最初は山に行く
It's called Mount Morita, right? Well, it'd be pretty dangerous if we went mountain climbing in the dark. Why don't we wait until around 10 p.m.?
山の名前違うし、10号も登ったら真っ暗になるし。
Well, whatever. Let's go.
なんだか妙に元気ね。
We walked on the unpaved road for a few minutes. The area's vast farmland surrounded us on all sides. Yet immature plants sprung from the land around us, basking in the fading light of the sun. Now, I'm not sure what you'll say to this, but I feel that I have to mention it anyway. See, country schools have this funny rule. If you steal a cabbage, you get suspended. Furthermore, if you steal a melon, you'll be expelled outright. However, this means that rice is fair game. Well, that's what I heard from Sachi, not Sachi anyway. She'd always make me sneak into the farm during harvest season.
何言ってるの
Oh, nothing. Just a little reminiscing.
ブツブツと。危ない薬でもやってるんじゃないの
No, no. I should be the one asking you whether you've been taking your calcium supplements or not.
飲んでるよ。お母さんの命令でね。
Oh, sorry. God damn it.
飲んでるよ。お母さんの命令でね。10種類も。
Now you sound like an American.
アメリカ
Ah, you haven't read that series, have you?
うん。
Oh man, they're great. I'll lend you one. I opened my Duralumin case.
いいって。私、本とか嫌いだから。
What? Books are awesome. Come on, at least give it a try.
いいって。お母さんからそういう娯楽系の本読むのを禁止されてるから。
I guess that settled it.
ほら、早くしないと日が暮れちゃう。
We passed on through the farmlands, One urging me along every step of the way. The normally green scenery of the mountains had now adopted a bloody tint. Long shadows fell across the road, cast by the trees lining it. The scenery out here is beautiful. I think it'll be even better if we climb to the summit though. You know, I used to go climbing here almost every day. There's a cliff with a nice view just up ahead. I have some bittersweet memories of that place.
ねえ。
Hmm?
もうちょっと早く歩けないかな。
Hell no! I'm worn out today.
元気そうじゃない？ブツブツ盛り上がって。
Nah, it ain't happening.
その、
Oh?
いや、なんでもない。森田健一は
Just Kenichi is fine. Why do you keep using my full name?
別に
No reason. Okay, then can I use your full name as well?
いいけど。
One Pissy Toka.
トゲって何よ。
It's your middle name.
やめてよ。
Fine, I'll just call you Little Miss Pissy then. She appears to be speechless. I'm not quite sure why.
私、そういうくだらない話に乗らないから。危うくペースに飲まれるところだったけど、森田健一なんて嫌いだから。
Why? What the hell did I do to you?
大体、何しにこんな偏僻な町に来たのよ。
I was a bit hesitant in my reply. I came here to become a special high-class individual.
特別高等人を目指してるの？
Only one obstacle remains in my path. I came to this town to take the final exam.
すごいのね。あれって年間に10人出るか出ないかでしょ？
That would seem to be the case.
森田健一って実は頭いいのね。
Oh, what's this? Suddenly I feel the tidings of love.
はあ
A good academic background is key after all.
ふざけないで嫌いだって言ってるでしょ
According to the law of the pendulum, the stronger the hate, the stronger the love once the pendulum swings in the other direction.
そうやって知識をひけらかす人は大嫌いだから
Oops, I forgot about the difference in our levels of education. God fucking damn it, Kenichi. It looked like dumbing myself down would be the best option while dealing with these people.
この町の歴史知ってる
What's this? Trying to show off?
知ってるの知らないの
Eh? I don't.
特別に教えておいてあげるけど
Ah, she was wearing the expression of one triumphant in their superiority now. So she had a childish side after all.
もともとが罪人の流刑地だったのよね
And they mined gold from the mountain.
知ってるんじゃないの
Ah, I'm sorry. True intellectuals have a policy to act like they don't know something, even if they do.
じゃあこれは知ってる
What a bad personality. Nope.
まだ何も言ってないでしょ
During the confusion of the war, a great deal of people came streaming in, right? If I remember correctly, they were mostly immigrants from other countries, and those of low social standing within this one, meaning that this town has a pretty varied set of names floating around. In other words, there are still some old and severe obligations permitting this town, like Sachi's restriction of available time, or your mandate of parental servitude. You don't really see that sort of stuff elsewhere.
そうね
She didn't seem very pleased. I guess One was the type who enjoyed bullying others more than being bullied herself. I had said enough.
次どこ行く
Anywhere you please.
そうね
We can also head back home if you want.
ああ帰ろうかなでも6時までまだ時間あるし商店街森田健一と一緒じゃつまんないしどうしようかななんか好きな景色とかある
She only asserted her independence when it came to her own opinions. In cases like these, she'd much rather pass the buck to someone else. Point being, she was selfish. Between heading home and going to the shopping district, which do you prefer?
帰っても勉強するだけだしかといって買い物するほどお金もあんまりないし
Since she couldn't choose between the two options even after I had clearly laid them out before her, I came to the conclusion that the problem was an emotional one, rather than a logical one. Now, the best thing to do with a kid like this, if you don't return before 6, it'll be a violation of your obligation. If you go to the shopping district, something unexpected might happen, and end up eating up your remaining time. So wouldn't calling it a day be the better option? Is to point out the consequences of her action or inaction, introduce a negative element into the equation, in other words.
そうね言いつけ破ったら収容所に入れられるし
Or maybe... Actually, screw that. Let's go roam around town some more. Sound good? I start to walk off, maintaining a firm grip on One's arm.
ちょっと話してよ
My approach was a bit forceful, but I thought that stimulating her feelings like this would produce the best long-term results. Your arms are very slender and quite smooth.
話してよ
She shook me off.
もうあんたなんか置いていくバカ変態
It's not rapist, come on, hentai's pervert, damn it. That's a bit too much. A beet red One descended the mountain road. She wasn't seriously angry, of course. She just didn't really know how to handle the action I just took. There was a pretty good chance of her falling in love with me after this. That particular emotion seemed to be one of her weak points. Oh, please don't think that I'm being arrogant. I'm well aware of how attractive I am. I've experienced firsthand just how important one's appearance is when dealing with social situations, or even when trying to find a job. And kids like her tended to judge men by their appearance. Now, I'm not sure what you think about me, but I'd like to make a few things clear nonetheless. I'm a liar. I give people empty compliments, and I psychoanalyze kids just so that I can get along with them. I'm pretty much a huge asshole. I have my fair share of secrets too. I decided to escort One. Hey, Sorry about grabbing you like that all of a sudden. One was still as pissed off as ever.
ここ田んぼだから。
Huh?
はい案内終わり。次。
Hold on! That was a farm? The hell was she talking about? That was just the same damn road we came in on. I followed behind her.
ここ川だから。
I can figure that out for myself.
はい次。
Hey! She wasn't even giving me enough time to enjoy the scenery.
ここ学園だから。
Damn it, don't make fun of me, you brat. I finally snapped. Give me a proper tour. I'll tell your mom about this.
お母さんからは森田健一を連れて街を歩けって言われただけ。歩いてるからいいじゃない。
What kind of twisted logic is that? I know your type. You're the kind who says that bananas don't count because they're not sweets, then get all indignant about it. One just snorted at me.
それじゃあ次は亮ね。
Tell me, what do you think of her attitude? It's pissy. That's what I think. A sense of nostalgia hung in the air around a school dorm. It was as dilapidated as ever. See what that means. State of disrepair, okay. Result of age or neglect. I see.
私もう帰るから。
Wait just a second.
何？
Guide me to your house
なんで？
so I can play pranks on you. I'm gonna put rice in your mailbox.
私の前でふざけないでって言ってるでしょ。
Anyway, take me there.
いい。
Come on, let's go. You don't have much time left, do you? I urged her to move. Come on, come on.
こっちよ。
She proceeded at a brisk pace. What's her problem? Well, as you already know, since she boldly declared her hatred for me to my face, her hate can't actually be that strong. Probably. Simple place you have here.
悪かったわね。
No, I like this kind of residence. Feels like the kind of house of a kind old grandmother.
あ、そう。
あら、森田くん？
I heard a voice calling from behind.
うちに何か用？
Nah, I was just having her guide me around town.
送ってもらったのよ。
あら、そう。どうかも、ちゃんと森田くんをご案内したんでしょうね。どうしたの？きちんと言っておいたはずよね。
まあ、一応。
She took me to the mountain, the river, the farm. Well, she showed me everything I wished to see.
よかったわ。珍しく私の言うことを聞いてくれたのね。どうしてだんまりなのかしら。まあいいわ。いつも通り夕飯まで勉強してなさい。
はい。
What? Something on my face?
なんでもない。
Toka disappeared into the entry hall. Alright, I'll be heading back myself.
ちょっと待って。
Yes, yes?
森田くん。いや、森田さんと呼ぶべきかしら。
Morita-sama would be great. God damn it, this
あな
guy.
た、特別高等人の国家試験をほとんどパスしてるらしいじゃないの。
Oh, did old man Hosuki tell you?
ええ。史上最年少だって。どうしてうちの学園に通うの？基礎課程は修了しているはずでしょ？
Yes, that's correct. I finished the basic scholarship programs ages ago. To be honest, I'm not quite sure why I'm attending your school myself. Old man Hosuki just told me to do so.
じゃあ、試験の一環なのかしら？
That's what I think.
じゃあひょっとしたら近い未来に当科の監督を任されたりする？
If I become a special high-class individual, then that is quite possible.
若いのにすごいわね。
There's nothing amazing about it. Toka's obligation is absolute subservience to her parental figures, correct?
ええ。通称大人になれない義務。
Are you her only parental figure?
そうよ。
So her father wasn't around. Well, it would be improper to pry too far into people's personal affairs. Has Toka ever acted in violation of her obligation?
そうね。私の言いつけに逆らったことは何回かあるけど、特別高等人の方にお咎めを受けたことはないわ。
The current supervisor is old man Hosuki, right?
そうね。本日付でそうなったわ。
Be careful.
何が？
That man doesn't play games.
うちの子もそうよ。
In any case, be on your guard. Make every effort to ensure that Toka carries out her obligation properly.
わかったわ。
Alrighty then. Bye.
はい。また明日学園で。
I left with a wave. The riverside was definitely the best place to camp out at. I'm the kind of guy who gets irritated if he doesn't have some fresh water nearby to drink after waking up. I'll grab a flashlight, vinyl sheet, and this little chair I got at a 100 yen store out of my Duralumin case. Duralumin. While I'm at it, I'll take out a novel, a pillow, and a blanket. At this point, you're probably wondering how I fit all this stuff in my case. Well, you see, it's because this case is connected to the fourth dimension. Shut the fuck up.
嘘ばっかり。
Someone was treading upon the gravel path to my rear.
あんた、私の部屋に泊まるんじゃないの？
Ah, I completely forgot about that.
こんな寂しいところで布切れ一枚で寝ようっていうの？
Well, that was my plan.
寝るとき背中痛いでしょ？
Nah, I'll just arrange the pebbles in a comfortable formation. No worries.
火は？
I was just about to make one. See? I've got a lighter.
テントもないの？
If you take a look at the sky, it's obvious that it's not going to rain tonight.
なんでこんなとこで寝るの？
Well, for one, the view is great. And thanks to the noisy gravel, it's easy to notice intruders.
へえ。ほー。
She stared at me.
サバイバーなんだね。
It's not like I've been through any traumatic experiences or anything.
え？
Huh? Oh, by survival, you mean staying outdoors. The difference in our education is the culprit once more.
その言い方ムカつくね。
She crossed her arms and grinned. Well, anyway, are you really willing to offer me a place to stay? Sachi nodded like it was the most natural thing in the world.
同居にいるけど気にしないでしょ？
You're not living alone, so you have a man then.
来ればわかるよ。さあ、行こう。早くしないと私止まっちゃうし。
Got it, thanks.
いいっていいって。
This girl. I wonder if she wandered all around town looking for me before coming here. If nothing else, she had always been good to taking care of others. Thank you. We started to walk side by side.
さあさあ、とっとと上がって。
She goose-stepped into the building. She's about to let a guy stay in her place, but she seems totally relaxed. I'd probably refuse to stay with her if she weren't a childhood friend of mine, but...
ちょっとぼんやりしてないで。そろそろ7時になっちゃうよ。
Good music, man. Oh, of course. Her day ended at 7 o'clock sharp. The corridor we walked along was rather musty. This place probably hadn't seen the light of the sun for some time. This dorm, it's more like a prison.
牢獄？
Prison is a place where they feed you rotten food.
なんかよくわかんないけど、私料理しないから。コンビニだから、ジャンクだから。
Very well then. I shall demonstrate to you my cooking prowess.
得意なんだ。
You have to at least be able to make rotten food if you're aspiring to be the rank of a special high-class individual.
臭い飯くらい誰でも作れるって。って、やば、そろそろ薬飲まなきゃ。
Sachi dashed off to her room. I followed her inside. Jesus, it was filthy in here. Tiny too. No legroom at all.
適当にくつろいで。トイレはこっち。電気はここ。お風呂も使っていいよ。シャンプーも私のでよかったら使って。
Sachi was fairly candid about the whole thing. How about at least hiding your underwear?
何が下着よ。全然気にしないでしょ。
Well, that wasn't exactly the case.
さあ、悪いけど私泊まるから。
She grabbed a bottle of red and white pills from the top of the cabinet. She gulped them down without water.
お水
Oh, sorry. She got her comeuppance for trying to show off. I took a thermos, yeah, out of my case and poured her a cup. Here. I handed it over to Sachi, her tongue wagging pathetically out of her mouth. She emptied the cup in one fell swoop.
何この甘ったるい飲み物。
It's a honey drink. I love sweet things. In fact, I don't eat or drink anything except for sweets.
キモいな。
Sachi lay down on her bed, which had an assortment of manga and cosmetics scattered across it. I chose an empty spot and lay down myself. It was nearly 7 o'clock.
パソちゃんには触らないでね。
There was an expensive-looking computer in the corner of the room. It looked like it was still on. The modem light was flickering pretty quickly. Was she in the middle of a transfer?
ねえねえ、森健ってさ、ひょっとしてさ、顔もいい、スポーツも万能、勉強も天才的っていう男の子？
Yup. Unlike the Japanese, I've never been much for modesty. Picture this, a genius who reads Kafka alone in the hall while he suffers on the inside. He's the top of his class and doesn't hesitate to boast that he's going to attend Tokyo University. That's me.
つまんないやつだね。
Boring? I suppose so. Sachi's body trembled slightly.
それじゃあ、
Oh,
おやすみ。
with that, she fell asleep. Sachi's sleep was a deep one. Nary a sound escaped her lips. I stood up to investigate the medicine she had taken. This is some pretty ancient stuff. This was the first time I had actually seen someone with the restriction of available time obligation. I racked my brain, trying to recall the details of it. Hadn't it been established during the war to manage people who weren't doing honest work in society? It seemed like something they should assign to Yakuza. By decreasing the amount of time they possessed, it showed them just how precious time is, huh? At any rate, I looked down at Sachi's sleeping face. She looked so defenseless. She didn't care what others thought of her. In fact, she might simply have been disinterested in other people to begin with. She was probably looking to get something out of this affair. But put it another way, she had invited me here today out of self-interest. I had to wonder if she were acting entirely out of goodwill. Tch. I sighed, clicking my tongue. I need to stop analyzing every little thing people do. I mean, I'm talking about a friend of mine here. I needed to calm down. I took out my pipe. I grabbed my lighter and fired it up. Ah, a nice fruity aroma. I'm not gonna voice this shit. Who is it? I immediately snuffed out the flame. That reminds me, she said she wasn't leaving alone. Was there someone inside the closet? There was indeed. Hey, little girl.
こんにちは。
She had come out of the closet all right. She was sunburned. No, she must have been a foreigner. Yo, I'm Morita Kenichi. My life's goal is to manipulate people like tools. She stared at me blankly and offered a similarly blank response.
しゃくれ？あたし、マナ。
Mana,
そう、マナ。お姉ちゃんの妹。
isn't that usually the case? I mean, it's not like hazard and danger are the same thing. What the hell was I talking about? Are you perhaps Sachi's younger sister?
そう、サチお姉ちゃん。
And you're living here with her?
お兄ちゃんは？
I'm freeloading.
そうろ。
This girl did not resemble Sachi in any way. Maybe they had different parents. Well, I'm gonna be staying here for a while, so nice to meet you.
ご飯食べる？
Yeah, I eat a lot, so prepare enough food for 2 people. Or heck, just prepare 2 plates for me.
マナを入れて3人分？
Right, all done. You're good at addition, aren't you? Though it was certainly possible that she hadn't received even elementary level education. Where's your mother?
知らない。お姉ちゃんも知らない。
How long have you been living here with your sister?
忘れた。
What's your last name?
知らない。
You don't know. It's not Mitsuhiro?
知らない。
I see.
ご飯食べる。
Mana scampered into the kitchen. Maybe they weren't even sisters. I resolved to ask Sachi about it tomorrow.
できたよ。
That was fast. It wasn't something one could even begin to consider a dinner. Whoa, there's a lot of chocolates on these plates. I just love sweets. Itadakimasu. I didn't want to stir up any trouble, so I just dug in. Any ordinary person would have been doubled over with stomach pains right about now.
じゃあマナお出かけす
Where to?
るスーパ
The supermarket in the shopping district? It's already nighttime.
ー掃除当番なんだよ
You're working there?
お金もらってるよ
Quite the lax labor laws we had here. She probably wasn't legally employed anyway. Okay then, as a special service, I'll escort you to the shopping district.
おおありがとう
However, I don't know how to get there. Please lead the way.
じゃあ行こ
I would pick up some food while we were there. It was already pitch black outside. Hey, how long are you going to work?
う朝だよ
Isn't that a bit too much?
お金たくさんあるとお姉ちゃん喜ぶ
Did Sachi tell you to get a job? A girl of this age. If that were the case, then I would have to make Sachi see things a bit differently. However, Mana shook her body to and fro in imitation of a wet dog.
違うマナが自分でやり始めたんだよ
Oh. Did she have some reason to save up money? Well, it would be improper to try to pry too far into people's personal affairs. We headed toward the shopping district. The shopping district was just about deserted. However, there was a 24-hour shop, which was quite unusual for a town as rural as this.
それじゃどうもありがとね
She waved goodbye to me and walked off. It was almost like she was a bug, being drawn to the light of the supermarket. Guess I should go and buy some ingredients for tomorrow's dinner. I might be a sweets maniac who was born and raised in a land of sugar, but I can't leave on carbs alone. As I start to walk forward, a sense of utter dread assaulted me from behind. I reluctantly turned around to face it.
森田
It was old man Hozuki. Not a drop of sweat fell from his brow, even though he was wearing a double-breasted suit in the dead of summer. Sorry about that, I don't know what happened there with my tongue. The temperature around the old man fell of its own accord. The darkness made its appearance all the more fearsome. Yo, good evening. Are you also shopping this late at night? That's surprisingly domestic of you. He slammed his cane into the ground. That meant, be quiet. What is it? I stood at attention.
指示を出す
Okay.
大根親子とは接触済みだな
Yes.
残りわずかで夏季休業に入るがそれまでに学園生活特に非構成人との人間関係が円滑になるよう努めろ
Understood.
次質問する
Yes.
一流の人間とは何だ
A first-rate person?
繰り返さなくていい
What was he asking all of a sudden? I think that there are various factors involved.
それは正しい
The way I see it, a first-rate person is someone who can communicate evenly with a person of similar stature in another discipline.
他には
Perhaps, someone who casts off preconceived notions and acts in accordance with his or her own creed.
森田クイズをしているのではない現状をよく踏まえた上でその多面的な要素とやらから必要と思われる一面を考えろ知識ではなく知恵を振り絞れ
His voice was cold and humorless, all business.
試験はもう始まっている
Hozuki turned around and left. He dragged along his left foot, using his cane for balance. He had told me that he had worked for the public security police in the past, and had injured his leg there. I knew absolutely nothing else about him, despite having been his pupil for 7 years. First rate, huh? I needed to take this seriously. I returned to Sachi's room after finishing my shopping. Obviously, Sachi was still stopped. I laid down on the floor. I've gotten used to living au naturel. The artificial scent of housing is pretty relaxing too. The floor is pretty cool, and it's not very moist. Even without an air conditioner, I don't think summer is too bad like this. It's almost like Hokkaido. should be able to sleep comfortably. As soon as I finished confirming the security of my surroundings, I was hit with a wave of fatigue. I met so many people today. I'm a little tired. I forgot who's who. One-chan. My back did not feel as it should. The wooden floor had absorbed the heat of the early summer's sunlight. I got up after examining my surroundings. I had slept for exactly 4.5 hours. Sachi was still sleeping, stretched out in the same position as she had been yesterday. I'll go for a quick jog to see Mana. I left the room after muttering this. Oh? I spotted someone else leaving. A yellow ribbon. Oi! I broke into a run. Hey, it's me! I called out to her to stop as I ran toward her.
昨日の朝はどうも病気の人ですよね。
Are you alright, Na-chan?
なっちゃん
Well, your name is Natsumi, right? So, Na-chan.
そうですか。びっくりしました。
I felt as if she were a bit more nervous than she should be. Are you not feeling well?
いえいえ。
She acts suspicious. I'm Kenichi.
そうですか。
She couldn't meet my gaze. Unease hung in the air like a bad joke. Are you in a hurry?
いえ、そういうわけでもないです。いや、
Are you still feeling bad because of what happened yesterday?
ほおずきさんによくしてもらいましたから。
So, are you going to come to school today? I'm a new transfer student, actually.
はい、
Do you live in this dorm?
はい。
Me too. I'm freeloading in Sachi's room.
そうですか。
Nae-san, it didn't look like this conversation was getting anywhere.
それじゃあ。
She shifted her head downward. Her badge gleamed in the sunlight. I watch her scamper off. I spent almost an hour waiting for Mana in front of the supermarket.
しゃくれ
I guess she noticed me waiting for her. She pattered toward me. Hey, my name isn't Manipulate. It's Kenichi. You write it with the kanji meaning smartest.
賢いの
Heck yeah. Just ask me if there's ever anything you want to know. I'll tell you.
マナはどっから来たの
Huh?
マナはどうやって生まれたの
You were found in a coin locker or a test tube.
ほー、わかったケンイチ賢いね
Yup. So how about we head home? Sachi should be waking up soon. We're back. Now, if I knew anything about Sachi, it was that she was lazy. I'm pretty sure she's still in bed. Well, I guess I knew less than I thought. Sachi was nowhere to be found. Now that I think of it, her shoes weren't in the entrance hall.
お姉ちゃん最近はいっつも早くに出かけるんだよ
It was still too early to leave for school, so... Where does she usually go?
知らないケンイチ教えて
Huh?
わからないことあったら何でも聞けって
Ugh. She's off mowing the grass growing on the mountains.
嘘だよ
Ugh. If she could see through this, then why did she believe me about the circumstances surrounding her birth? Jeez. Alright, let's think about this seriously. First off, her bag is still here. That means that she most likely did not go to school. Furthermore, she left the TV and lights on. The door wasn't locked either. Thus, I'm left to assume that she is simply attending to something minor and will be back soon. Finally, I have a theory that she's at the mountains, based on this note that says, Kenichi, I'll be out mountain climbing for a bit. Go ahead and go to school without me. Wait a sec. She's at the mountains. She's mountain climbing.
おおケンイチは賢いね
I had to wonder though, why mountain climbing?
マナは寝るね。
You're not going to eat? And I went to the trouble of buying ingredients and everything.
いらない。おやすみ。
She crawled underneath a small futon in the closet. Why are you sleeping in the closet? Are you Doraemon or something? Oh god. Well, that was quick. Nobi! NHA! No! IP, man, IP! Don't do that. Bathed in sunlight, the school building radiated a certain sense of calmness. The girls were chattering so rapidly that they resembled chirping birds. I have to say, I found it pretty easy on the eyes. A teacher walked by and was greeted with smiles all around. The freshness of the air seemed to reflect the hearts of its inhabitants.
おはよ
Now this is rare. Never thought I'd be greeted by the one of despisement.
う。お母さんに命令されてるだけだから。
I see.
転校してきたばっかりで友達もいないんだろうから、学級委員長なんだし仲良くしてあげなさいって。
Chairman?
お母さんが責任のある立場につきなさいって言うから。
To be honest, she wouldn't exactly be my first pick for such a position. Oh well. It would be a good learning experience for her at least. Must be hard, huh? I figured it was about time to comply with Pops' orders from yesterday. As class chairman, you have the responsibility of bringing people together and coordinating their work effort. Do you ever feel as if this responsibility is a burden? I would try to befriend her.
まあね、大したことはないけど。
Well, how should I put this? As a child, I only barely attended school, so I'm not too familiar with how it actually works.
だからそんなに変なのね。
Am I?
なんかいっつも一人で空回りしてそう。協調性とかなさそうだし。
This was turning out to be a pain. I had no choice but to play my trump card.
何笑ってんのよ。
You have a boyfriend? Well, do you? I drew a step closer to her.
そんなのあんたに関係ないじゃない。
Seems she doesn't. I see. Well, okay. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's be buddies.
誰が
I don't want to be friends with class chairman. I want to be friends with One Toka. I smiled lightly. I had practiced wearing that saccharine mask in front of the mirror many times. Many a time.
わかったってば。お母さんにそういう風に命令されているし、仕方ないよね。
She grumbled into her chest. Alrighty, let's walk to class together then. That went rather well. You do the same thing, right? If you want your relationship to go smoothly, you should approach the central figure of the group you're dealing with. That's all I'm doing.
何か言った
Nah, I was just thinking about how terrible I am.
え
We entered the school building. The classroom bustled with the yakking of students.
やあ森田くんおはよ
You're looking fresh today, Sono.
う。そうでもないよ。昨日は徹夜していてね。
Were you writing a manuscript? I think this episode's gonna be a bit longer, at least for the first episode anyway. Man, time sure goes by fast when I'm playing this one. Well, it was also going fast when I was playing Yuno. But the thing was, Yuno, man, sometimes when you try to get something done, it takes a while. I guess my mistake when playing Yuno was that I wasn't using a guide. To anyone else who is playing Yuno, I would actually suggest you to use a guide. Don't be like me, don't be dumb. This is why I prefer visual novels that are purely just text and choices. I really like them.
妖精と会話していたんだよ。
Oh, that sounds like something a fairy tale author would say.
感心しちゃダメだと思うんだけど。
おや委員長久しぶりだね。
Been a while.
絡むのが私くだらない会話嫌いだから。
くだらない？僕が？
あ、いや会話がね、なんだか波長が合わないのよ。
そうか。僕はくだらないか。
A shadow fell across his face.
ごめん。
僕はね委員長昔妖精にさらわれたことがあってね。
Shut the fuck up.
はあ？
それ以来性格がガラリと変わってしまったんだ。申し訳ないけど。
いや謝られても。
当時 カウンセリングをたくさん受けたんだけどね、どんな先生もサジを投げたよ。君の鏡にはなれそうにないって。
鏡？
Sono couldn't find a therapist who would listen to him, praise him, or treat him as if he had value.
先生の頭はテカってたんだけどな。
Physical appearance has nothing to do with it.
そんなわけで僕は他人から理解されにくい性格をしているみたいなんだ。つかみどころがないというか、地に足がついてないというか。いや、ミサイルは好きだし妖精も好きなんだ。エログロナンセンスも純愛も好きだし、男も女も俺もお前も大好きなんだ。
You would be quite well suited for a cult.
まあ大体分かったから、とにかくくだらないことを言わないでくれればいいから。
ありがたまきん。
What the fuck? That was abrupt and lame as hell. One wailed on him something good in retribution. I still wasn't sure what to make of Isono. The teacher hadn't shown up yet, so it was a self-study period. My classmates were busy texting, playing portable games, or gossiping. I guess they were too preoccupied with having fun to bother with studying. The only person who was actually studying was Natsumi, who had been absent the day before. Sachi came in late and fell asleep on top of her desk without a word.
ちょっとみんな静かにして。
One, perched at the front of the class, suddenly spun her head around and yelled at us all. Sachi suddenly sat up.
どうか？今は自習の時間なんだよ。遊んでちゃダメだよ。
Everyone stared at One.
みんな夏休みが近いからって浮かれすぎ。
She was trying to assert dominance over the class. However, I felt that her actions lacked a certain conviction.
真面目に自習している人もいるんだから邪魔しないで。
The words coming out of her mouth were all too typical. At this rate, she would only come off as an irritating bitch to the rest of the room. The class abruptly fell silent, just as I began to entertain thoughts of assisting Toka in her cause. They were not annoyed, as I had anticipated. Instead, they all returned their seats quite cheerily, while saying things like, "Toka is so diligent," and "Poor chairman, he sure has it tough." My classmates appeared to be quite good-natured. They must have seen a glimmer of charm in Toka somewhere, enabling them to overlook her harsh attitude.
分かればいいのよ。
She returned to her seat in the aftermath of her prickly declaration. Kyoko-san entered the classroom.
それじゃあテストを開始ます。
She slammed a bundle of exam papers on the desk. The sharp sound sent the class into a stir.
みんな静かに。
You may as well be talking to yourself, Miss Chairman.
光弘さん、
She stood up casually and maneuvered her way through the desks to the front of the room to pick up her test.
あなたはいつも寝ているのに勉強はできるのよね。
数字には強いんだよ。
I asked Sachi what she got after she returned to her seat.
95点だよ。
Oh, nice! You must have nailed the mathematical function segments.
為替やってるからね。
Well. So that's what your computer is for.
そうそう。
Damn, your handwriting is atrocious. I can't tell if that's a 1, a 7, or a worm.
ほんとだ。だからいつも間違えたんだ。私超適当だからね。サッチ、ちょっとうるさいよ。ごめん。
She made a gesture of apology. Kyoko-san returned the exams one by one.
日向さん、
はい。
Natsumi quietly stood up. She adopted the gait of an old man as she walked toward the front of the room, taking care to keep her distance from males along the way.
はい、いつも通りいい調子ね。
どうも。
Kyoko-san's praise had the opposite effect on Natsumi. She seemed perturbed rather than proud. After receiving her exam, she returned to her seat in the same painstaking fashion as before.
次、大根さん。
Toka confidently strode up to Kyoko-san's desk, pumping her arms and legs energetically in the process. Kyoko-san handed over the exam without a word. I suppose she didn't want to comment on her own daughter's effort. The class burst into laughter.
また20点だ
Oh my god, she's so bad. Phew. That seemed like the academic type too.
なんで？どうして？あんなに勉強したのに。
She was blushing into the ears. The exam trembled in her hands. Her mouth assumed the shape of a... And that's a hat. I found it rather cute.
また一緒に勉強しようね。
I just discovered why no one in class found One to be an irritant. One person was out of place in this boisterous classroom. She was only laughing out of desire to fit in, a desire to blend in with her surroundings. Hmm.
森田くん、一緒に帰ろう。
Ah, school's already over.
どうした？珍しそうに。
No. I was just thinking about how suiting the fact that time continues to flow, regardless of any given individual's perception of it.
ほう。なんだか素敵な発言だな。森田くんは容姿端麗なだけでなく、詩人でもあったのか。
You're not too bad looking yourself, but I think you should give the bangs a rest.
よく言われるよ。どうした？僕の顔に何かついてる？
No. Was it just my imagination? For a second there, I felt something approaching bloodlust.
今日みたいに世界が赤い日には執筆速度が上がりそうだね。
Isono spread out his arms and thrust his chest outward into the light. As he did, his fingertips grazed Natsumi's cheek.
あ、ごめん。
Natsumi stood petrified, wearing an expression of utmost fear. Hey, don't worry about it. No special high-class individual would get on your case about that. You're not gonna punish you for something that you couldn't avoid.
そうですよね。
I didn't know how long Natsume has been burdened with her obligation, but such things were to be expected in one's daily life. So the prospect of violating her obligation in such a way should not have instilled any particular sense of fear in her. But if that were the case, why was she trembling like this? Natsume ran out of the classroom without another word.
どうした森田くん？やけにシリアスな顔をしているが？
I couldn't just leave her alone. See you tomorrow. I waved to Isono and ran out into the hallway. The setting sun dyed the corridor red. Totally not because I'm biased, okay? Totally not because I'm biased. Natsumi was staggering left and right, trying to keep up her distance from the surrounding people. I ran up to her and caught her attention. Let's walk home together. Her voice was no louder than that of an insect's, but it carried the unmistakable tone of rejection nonetheless. I really didn't understand why she disliked me so much. I'm going to walk next to you, okay? She cowered before me as if I were the predator and she the prey. I needed to get her to calm down before anything else. I'm sorry I surprised you by calling you Na-chan all of a sudden. You can call me Ken-chan in return, okay? Okay? I begged for her acceptance so incessantly that it frustrated even myself. Since you were the first person I met in this town... Natsumi's expression clouded over, right as I was about to tell her an awesome joke. The hands grasping the hem of her skirt began to quiver.
森田くん。
She looked like she was suffocating.
私と一緒にいると変な噂立っちゃいますよ。
Rumors.
みんなからいじめられたりひどいこと言われたりしちゃいますよ。
Ah, that would certainly be a problem. I've been tasked with integration and harmonization after all. More to the point, it appeared that Natsumi herself had been a victim of bullying. Is it because of your obligation?
いえ、どうなんでしょう。私はそういうの関係なしだと思います。
I don't know how it is around here, but in the city, The prohibition of love obligation is only assigned to lying, cheating scumbags who try to pull off the playboy lifestyle, breaking hearts in the process. Well, there are women who act the same way too. Frankly, it's a pretty shameful obligation. Discrimination arises as a result of this badge. I wanted to know the reason behind her badge. I wanted to know how and why a girl like Nachan had committed such a sin.
えっと
Natsumi looked timidly in my direction. What's wrong? Do I have bugs crawling out of my ears?
いえちょっと怖い顔をしていたので
What was this? I had let my true emotions bleed through? Old man Hozuki would have killed me if he had caught wind about this. I'm Morita Kenichi, and life's goal is to manipulate people like tools. I tried calming her down a bit with my catchphrase. Listen up. This country's position is something akin to the world's leader, the supreme arbiter of justice, you see. All because we won the war 100 years ago, you see. And you see, the special high-class law, our country's crowning achievement, you see. It's for worthless criminals like you see. It's the perfect system of punishment, designed for re-education, you see. I love you! I jerked my head downward, facing toward Natsumi.
ごめんなさい
She fled from my presence. What the hell am I doing? Well, think about it. Say you moved to the city and became a water flea, then grow wary of your travels and return to your hometown in the country. When you arrive, you find that the ordinary girl who you were close to, has turned into a lungfish. If something like that happened to you, I'm sure you'd freak out, right? That's my current thought process, and apparently it's showing on my face. I needed to get going too. My shadow grew long beneath the setting sun. The sudden appearance of a second shadow caused me to spin around. Oh, you're heading home too, Chairman. I'd stopped for a smoke break in the thicket over yonder, so it was getting pretty late.
うるさいのよ
Whoa, what's with you?
うるさいうるさい
Ah, I see. You had to stay behind for supplementary lessons.
悪い
Now, I'm guessing that you're not actually too bad at studying, am I right? Call it woman's intuition, Kenichi edition.
そうなのよ
I was right after all. I took a look at the problems on your exam. As long as you know the material, there should be no problem, right? Your obligation means that you have to follow all of Kyoko-san's orders. She defines your curfew, forces you to eat all of your carrots, makes you go to bed early, and so on.
そうよ髪型から晩ご飯のおかずまで全部決められてるの
Now, what I'm getting at is that keeping all of these orders straight requires a pretty decent memory. In other words, she couldn't use poor memory as an excuse.
私の答案見る
She took it out of her bag and handed it to me. Let's see here.
例えばね3の事情ってあるでしょ
That'd be 9.
私うっかり6にしちゃってて
Simple mistake, huh?
戦争が終わって特別高等法が施行されたのってさ
The end of the century, 1999.
19,999年にしちゃってて
Wow, that was pretty damn clumsy. You should take it more slowly. Calm down a bit and recheck all of your answers.
テスト中も最後に見直ししてるんだけど見直す箇所が多すぎて青ざめるのよ
Makes sense. You don't deal well with pressure, eh?
何その知った風な口の利き方は
She scowled at me. You're the type that agonizes over whether to push the button, to get the bus, to stop, or to wait for someone else to do it, am I right?
偉そうなんだけど
Don't get angry so easily. She was the type just asking to be teased and yet didn't want to be teased. If that wasn't selfish, I didn't know what was. I'm going home. See you tomorrow.
サチの部屋に泊まってるって
She called for me to stop. Yeah, she's really helping me out. So I'm thinking of doing all the housework in return.
森田健一って料理とか得意なの
Japanese, Indian, French, Italian. I guess you could say I'm a bit of an iron chef.
へえ 私も中華料理は作ってみたいなって思うのよね。
Hmm?
酢豚とか美味しそうだよね。
It does. Wait a second. Hey, I thought you didn't read that series. So why can you understand what I said? Those get mentioned in the Japanese and Western installments. Her mouth may not have said oh crap, but her face certainly did. Aren't you prohibited from reading books for pleasure? You wouldn't happen to be violating your obligation by reading them secretly, would you?
違う。お母さんに禁止される前は好きでよく読んでたのよ。今は読んでないよ。
I looked at her.
ちょっと疑うの？
When did your mom make you stop reading for pleasure?
去年よ。
You'd better throw them away.
だから。
You underestimate my otakuism. I happen to know for a fact that sweet and sour pork was not mentioned until this year's April edition. I don't know how lenient your previous special high-class individual was, but Old Man Hozuki is dangerous. Extremely dangerous. I pointed my finger at her face to emphasize what I just said.
でも持ってるだけなら。
Better safe than sorry. Books are meant to be read. Owning books that you don't plan to read strikes me as rather suspicious. One's expression took a turn for the sour.
なんとかならないかな。
Not unless you get Kyoko-san's permission.
そんな。お母さん、私が勉強できないからって遊ぶなっていつも言うの。おかげでテレビもバラエティとか見れないし、音楽も国歌みたいのしか聞けないし。
That's really harsh, actually. A flood of complaints issued forth from her mouth. You should try to get on her good side. She's the one who decides the severity of your obligation, after all.
でもお母さんやたら厳しいし、規則とか理屈とか大事にする人だし。
I think if you showed some results, she wouldn't be that severe. You can appeal to the sentiments of anyone. Even businesses often hire based on a good first impression, rather than a simple assessment of one's ability. That's just how the world works. Hell, I've been through enough to know this firsthand.
よくわかんない。
Her expression began to cloud over. But man, I can't believe that you, of all people, would like that series.
悪い？
I thought you hated books. Don't you hate stupid things?
くだらないことは嫌いだけど、あの本の真面目な話は好きなの。
Also, you want to watch variety shows?
バラエティはくだらなくないの。
By whose standard? Just what exactly do you consider stupid?
だから言うでしょ。おはヨーグルトとか。
I don't think that happens very often.
下品な下ネタとか。
Well, I've certainly never heard of a sophisticated dirty joke.
とにかく嫌い。
She must have made a fool of herself in the past.
あ、そろそろ帰んなきゃ。
Did Kyoko-san order you to be home by 6 again?
今日はラジオ聞きたいから。
Her scowl loosened up a bit. I guess she was looking forward to it. But what time do you go to bed?
11時くらいかな。ってなんで森田健一なんかに私生活をさらさなきゃいけないのよ。
Gee.
帰る。
I have a bit of spare time, so I'll escort you. I started walking.
別にいいって。
She followed me, but not without another complaint. I escorted One home and returned to Sachi's room.
と
She appeared to be in the midst of grunting for unknown reasons. I'm back. Sachi was in front of her PC. She levered her gaze directly at the screen, holding onto the mouse for dear life. So, how's business?
微妙。
Which country's currency are you dealing with?
南の王国。
Kingdom? Huh? That war-torn wasteland? Wouldn't you be better off trading monopoly money?
あそこってさ、うちの国が一番軍隊出してんじゃん。だから戦争で勝てばレートも金利も私らに有利になるはずなんだよね。
I don't think that's likely to happen anytime soon, though. Why don't you try working with something safer?
いいの。今一番安く買えてリターンも大きいから。
Well, do as you please. It's your money, not mine. I headed into the kitchen to wash my hands and gargle. I didn't know how much Sachi was relying on this leverage of hers, The fact remained that she must have had decent amount of money to begin with. Sachi's always been a bit different, but she's not a normal student, is she? By the way, where's Mana? Mana, your sister-in-law.
寝てるんじゃない？
I was just joking around, but it looked like they weren't related after all. What does she sleep in the closet? Hey,
知らない。好きなんじゃない？
you don't seem to want to see much of her.
そんなことないって。ちょっと時間が合わないだけ。
It wouldn't do to pry after all. I have to respect the privacy of those undergoing rehabilitation.
あ、そうそう。森健ってさ、山登りとか得意？
I guess. I'm probably above average.
セーリングは？
I can deal with SRT. Diving is probably out of my league. Oh, I guess I should explain it to you. SRT is a technique which utilizes one rope, for both ascending and ascending.
いきなりブツブツ言わないでよ。
Sorry, it's a habit. I scratched my head. So, what's the matter? Was there a new cave found on Mount Morita?
森田さん？森田さんね。名前はどうでもいいけど。
So, what is it? Sachi pushed her chair back from the desk and stood up.
まだ内緒。
Don't give me that. Explain.
それにしても森健ってやっぱ普通の学園生じゃないよね。
I told you to explain, damn it.
なんか初めて見た時にピンときたんだよね。私鼻が利くって言ったじゃんね。
Sachi laughed eerily and popped the pills from yesterday into her mouth.
ねえ、森健さ、特別高等人を目指してるんでしょ？
She laid down on the bed. How do you know that?
10日から聞いたんだよ。
You're friends with One? Sachi nodded her head vigorously.
あれっていろんな職業を体験しなきゃいけないんでしょ？
Calling it experience doesn't cut it. One is required to operate on a professional level within a short period of time.
なんでなの？法律の勉強だけしてりゃいいじゃない。
Well, I don't really understand it myself, but I slowed my breathing, drew back my jaw, and tried crumbling my forehead. Learn to appreciate the gravity of one person judging another.
誰のモノマネ？
My bad. I guess it's kind of an inside joke. I was trying to act like old man Hozuki.
わかるわけないし、超ウケるんだけど。
I didn't think it was that funny. One cannot look after someone whose feelings they do not understand, yes? Based on this, and the fact that an abundance of professions exists within our society.
ああ、なるほどね。床屋の人なら床屋の経験がある高等人の方が仲良くなれるもんね。
Well, that's a part of it, but in the end, people simply offer up more respect to those who possess a wide range of abilities. Popularity is also thrust upon said individuals.
森健が勉強できるところ見せたり、体育とかで活躍したら女の子たちはきっとキャーキャー言うもんね。顔もいいしさ。
Also, accidents can happen at any time. For example, Natsumi collapsing. Many high-class individuals are qualified as doctors in order to deal with situations such as that.
森健は？
I'm thinking of heading down that path eventually. Right now, I'm really only qualified to handle basic first aid.
何が得意なの？
According to the aptitude test, I seem to have a gift for management.
じゃあひょっとしてバリバリの営業マンだったりするの？
I have, but since I lack a certain degree of common sense, my business partnerships hadn't lasted long.
でもさすがにこの世の全部の職業を体験したわけじゃないんでしょ？
Well, yeah, but hey, if you can drive a car, you can probably drive a bus, right? That's the kind of logic they're working with. So they send us out to gain experience in a variety of general fields.
キワッキワじゃん。
Edgy. Is this some more energetic terminology?
危ういってこと。
I guess you could call it that.
今まで一番大変だった職業は？
That would have to be my stint as an apology agent.
嘘でしょ。
Or maybe being a murderer. Good night. I prepared a towel kit. It was almost 7. I'll do the laundry and clean the bath.
掃除はやっぱいいから。物がわかるところにないと困る。
Sleepiness dripped from her voice. Oh, and wash your own underwear. Already asleep. Guess it was time for a smoke. I hummed while gracefully handling the frying pan. Ah, I remember when I covered snakes in curry powder and ate them. Good times.
ご飯まだ
Just a moment, I'm putting on the final touches. I furiously banged on the gas burner with the frying pan. What the hell?
おーおーおー
Stop showing off, Kenichi, damn it.
できた
Okay, now that I've gotten that out of my system, I press stop on the cassette player and producing the sizzling sounds.
できたできた
Yeah, basically he can't cook. I pick up the convenience store bento I had hidden on the floor and handed it to Manu. I couldn't use the gas!
あ
It's broken!
ーケイチガス直して直して
Well, I wanted to eat some Chinese food myself. I can fix it if you don't mind a few explosions.
あ
These damn hick towns and their damn hick utilities. We're paying money, so the least you could do is provide 24-hour support.
ーケイチなんとかしてマナあったかいご飯が食べたい
And the damn hick convenience store forgot to warm up the bento.
ケイチ目つきが危ないよ
I could have really used a smoke right about now. Ah, that's right. I calmed down. Natsumi lives in this dorm too. We could just use the kitchen in her room.
おーおーおーお友達がいるんだね
Alright, Mana, you wait here.
早くね
I shouldered the frying pan and headed out into the hallway. The dorm was so quiet at night that I could hear the hum of the fluorescent lights. I walked around the building, searching for Natsumi's room. Hinata. Here. I came across a door with a faceplate reading Hinata Natsumi attached to it. I knock. Good evening. There was no reply. Nachan, are you there? Damn it! I'm hungry! I leaned my head against the door. Without warning, the door opened. I banged my head against it in the process. Ow.
はい
Good evening.
どうしたんですかなんだか顔色悪いですよ
Yeah, I really need a fix. Anyway, please lend me your kitchen.
あ部屋に上がるんですか
I won't have to if you bring the kitchen out here.
フライパンボロボロじゃないですか
I just got done cooking Chinese. In my head. Natsumi's face, filled with pallor until now, regained its color.
中華料理ですか
Yes, sweet and sour pork. That's what I'm planning on making.
あれ美味しいですよ私もよく作りますから
Don't put any pineapples or cherries in it. I'll get mad.
分かってますキュウリを入れるのもダメです
I laughed automatically. You've read it, that sci-fi series.
はい小さい頃からずっと
I see. I stared down at the floor.
どうしました
After a sigh, I raised my head back up. How's school?
どうと言われても
Your studies seem to be going fine.
いやそんなことも
What about friends? Are you getting along with Sachi or Toka?
さっちゃんとはたまにおしゃべりして
I see. That's good. My gaze moved to her badge. What's this about? The question leaked out of my mouth. What happened?
バッジですか
You're not that kind of person, that's all. Natsumi stood up straight.
私そういう子ですから男の人とたくさん付き合って
ひどいことをしたから、これはしょうがないんです。
Her words carried a businesslike tone, as if she had rehearsed them many times before.
ごめんなさい。だから、あまり私と仲良くならない方がいいんです。
I murmured to quell the onslaught. You've had it rough, haven't you? She showed such contempt for herself with those words. Let's be friends, okay?
ですから、私と仲良くならない方が。
Your previous high-class individual ordered you to say that to any man who approached you, didn't he?
えっと。
She looked troubled. It's okay. Our eyes met. Lonely for a moment, Natsumi quickly cast her eyes toward the linoleum wall once more. Are you prohibited from glancing upward at men?
はい。
What about crying in front of a man? She gave a slight nod. Relax, it's alright. Have you eaten dinner?
残り物でよかったら。
Thank you. I held out the handle of the frying pan. Could you put them in this, please?
いや、お皿用意しますね。
She went back into her room. I leaned against the wall and gazed up at the ceiling. We talked for a bit just now, but I've encountered no instances of Nachan instigating a conversation herself. It's like she doesn't feel curious about other people. She's really changed. The door opened and Natsumi reappeared. That was fast. I saw a heap of orange noodles beneath the plastic wrap on the plate she brought up.
どうぞ。本当に残り物ですけど。
Spaghetti? That's Western style. Looks good.
取って、受け取ってもらえますか？
Huh? She proffered the plate while looking away from me. Her unnatural movements evoked the impression of a girl giving the boy she had a crush on a love letter she had written after a sleepless night. Around the back of the school this evening?
お願いします。
Stop! Stop being in your own delusions, damn it, Kenichi. With pleasure. I accepted it. With that, she retracted her outstretched arms and hugged them close to her. What's wrong?
なんでもないですよ。
Her breath was ragged, and blood was rushing to her face.
手が触れたらダメだなと思って緊張するんです。
That's true. With her obligation, she needs to watch out for her hands the most. Of course, accidents are permitted, but if they happen too often, she'll probably be penalized. I'll leave the plate in front of your door, okay?
はい。
Well then, good night. She offered no reply. I returned to my own room with an itch in my brain. I escorted Mana to the shopping district after dinner.
ありがとうね。
Yeah, go for it.
ケンイチはどうしてマナと仲がいいの？
Huh?
送ってくれるのが嬉しいよ。
Well, I have free time. Lots of it.
昨日初めて会ったのにね。
Apparently, I'm the kind of guy who gets overly familiar.
ケンイチは嫌な感じしないよ。
Feel bad.
マナを見て立ち止まったり、ひそひそしたりしない。
Discrimination? In this day and age? This shitty country town, they still haven't given up on those prejudices.
お姉ちゃんもね、しないよ。
Yeah, that's right. That girl doesn't bother with such trifling matters.
お姉ちゃんと結婚するの？
Eh?
だってお姉ちゃんのブラジャーとか洗ってたでしょ？
Yeah. How embarrassing.
お部屋に一緒に住んでるし。
She's just letting me stay for a while. This girl might have been pretty sharp after all. Have you ever been taught by anyone?
特別高等法はちゃんとお姉ちゃんに教えてもらったよ。
I see. That's good. So you know what the badges stand for, more or less.
うんうん。大変だね。
There were badges that demanded the attention of others, like Natsumi's prohibition of love. Every parent taught their children about traffic lights. This was a world necessitating, there you go, an awareness of the meaning behind each and every badge. At least if you didn't want to get in trouble.
そろそろ行くね。
I saw her off with a wave. I put the pipe into my mouth and ignited it. I do have a lot of free time. Old Man Hozuki said that the examination has already begun, but what exactly am I supposed to do? He ordered me to make friends with everyone, but grumbling, I inhaled and exhaled the smoke. Relaxing. Sachi was sleeping in the same room, but her breathing was nearly imperceptible. She really did give off the impression that her time had stopped. Should I be getting to sleep as well? I laid down on the floor. Nei-san, it's been 2 days since I came to this town. I've met 3 girls bearing obligations and talked a bit with them. I haven't gotten involved too deeply just yet, but I think I understand them for the most part. I'd like to become friends with them and fool around some more. Good night. I think that's a good enough introduction for this game so far. I really feel good about this game, though. It's that game that I know I'm using nostalgia goggles, but so far I don't think I have any criticism towards it yet. It flows smoothly, the conversation doesn't feel like it's forced, and Kenichi is just overall a nice, is just a nice main character to have. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Sharin no Kuni. I really enjoy this game. Well, I enjoyed this game, but I'm enjoying it again. And hopefully it will continue on towards the end. Because mind you, it's been 10 years, so I don't remember this game as much as I would like to think. Unlike Gessenjo. Gessenjo, I actually remember a lot of the plot. Because it's mostly, about crime and stuff. This is mostly more about interactions and how characters talk with each other. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I will be making an hour and 30 minutes-ish each episode. But this one I want to try to make it a bit longer. Feels nice. See you guys next time.